Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting in association with Mossberg Firearms. Built rugged, proudly American.
Welcome to Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. Banding ducks is one of our most important tools in understanding waterfowl population status, migration, habitat use, and more. We begin this episode in research mode with an expedition to Banskop in Montana, and then we hunt in Big Sky Country with DU biologist Bob Sanders. It's educational, it's exciting, it's DU TV.
Well, we're just starting our first morning here in Montana. We're wrapping up a great breakfast and about to head out to do a little banding, and so sit tight.
And so these large wetland complexes are exceptionally important to staging waterfowl. We can capture birds as ducklings or flightless females, and then we can mark these individuals. We can get at really important demographic rates that are difficult to get at in other areas. And so, for example, we can get at female breeding season survival, which is an exceptionally important demographic rate for SCOB. This shallow lake system is a highly productive system from an invertebrate standpoint. And if you're a duck, a breeding duck, that's a good thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna push the south shore and then work up into the trap, which is south of those willows.
In this project out here, one of the highest densities of lesser scaup or bluebill breeding in the lower 48. So we're looking out here at getting some real good data. Typically when all the other species rebound with a wet cycle, lesser scaup just have had trouble over the last 20 years or so. Some of the baseline data we're gathering here not only tells us where these birds go, but also tells us something about these birds during their breeding time. Brood survival, nest success, and then ultimately how many birds come back here.
So what we're doing right now is we have boats to the southeast of us. They're going to swing around so we form a nice line east-west. And the trap's pretty much due north of Ainsley and I, and we're holding the line, if you will, right here. And then we'll just start moving everything north. About 3 years ago, a Ducks Unlimited biologist out of Bozeman, Abby Dresser, approached us about this idea of bringing DU out to help with this project. So it was Ducks Unlimited coming to us and saying, hey, can we help you out? And they really have helped us out. So it's building as a collaboration.
That was so cool. And what we're doing right now is we're going through and we're seeing which ones have bands, how old they are, and according to their age, if they've been banded or not, we're releasing them back, and the other ones we'll take in to band.
Ducks Unlimited Television, presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited, and Ducks Unlimited's Rescue Our Wetlands campaign, banding together for waterfowl.
Nice job.
Opening day knocked the skunk off right off the bat. When we got to the airport in Montana, there are hunters everywhere, but there's a lot of rifle cases and there's a lot of bow cases. I didn't see many waterfowl hunters. When you think of Montana, you think of big game, but we're going duck hunting and it's gonna be a lot of fun. That was cool. No wind, there's nowhere one way they're coming from. You're watching the group on the left and they're decoying on the right.
Oh man, look at this. This is incredible.
So these mallards were getting out obviously very early in the morning before first light, filling up. As we got a bird or two, we noticed that the crop in the bird was very full of the field peas. We got in there, we've been scouting these spots, and obviously the scouting is key, especially out in the big prairies out here. We've got thousands of square miles of grass and wetlands. And those birds, as they start to stage up in the fall, just prior to winter and prior to migration, they're going to be fairly concentrated in a few places. So the key is really finding those places and getting a good setup.
Good shot, guys.
So opening morning, we're hunting this cattail marsh. Lauren and Bridget, they've been watching this marsh for the last 2 weeks and they knew the hole that we were gonna hunt.
Found a group of mallards sitting in the slough area. Boy, we knew it was going to be good. There was probably 3,000-4,000 mallards sitting in this bottom. It turned out to be an excellent day.
Usually opening mornings are filled with anticipation and excitement. The day started, it turned into like Christmas. We had mallards dropping in front of us, and what a day.
Oh geez. Nice shot, Bob. Get another one. Oh, Bob, that was great. This is the best opening day I've ever had.
This is called opening day magic here.
This is opening day magic.
When most people think of the duck factory in the United States, they think of the Dakotas. It's true that North and South Dakota account for most of the ducks produced in the U.S., but Montana ranks third and is an important contributor to North America's waterfowl populations. Northeast Montana is sprinkled with more than 500,000 small wetlands that are ideal for nesting ducks, and Montana's shortgrass prairie is especially important habitat for pintails. Over the long term, these wetlands and grasslands produce around 1.7 million ducks annually. Unfortunately, nearly half of Montana's historic wetlands have been drained or filled, and the continuing loss of grassland nesting habitat means fewer adequate nest sites are available. DU and its partners are working in Montana to restore habitats that have been lost and to protect those that remain. Some of our most important and innovative tools here include land purchases and conservation easements that protect these vital areas for the long term. You can find out more about Montana's habitats and DU's work at ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com. DU TV is powered by Mossberg Firearms, built rugged, proudly American. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Kent Cartridge, performance, quality, tradition, biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon Outdoors. And Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs.
southwest Montana, and this is the original water structure that was created 30 years ago, and today it provides one of the largest scarp habitats in North America.
We started this project to help us understand how scarp respond to water level management. This is a system that has a water control structure that DU actually helped modify in 1987, one of the first DU projects in Montana.
This water resource has not only created a lake that provides great habitat for waterfowl and other migratory birds, but also for big game animals such as elk, antelope, moose, and even cattle ranchers. It's so amazing to stand here today and see the significance of a project like this. Something that was created in the 1980s is still having a major role in Montana's ecosystem.
So we've had this project ongoing for 12 years now, answering different questions about scarp biology. So for example, female breeding season survival out here is really high when we have a lot of water, because those females can go out into the flooded sedge habitat associated with this wetland and have a nest and really be in a place where most predators just aren't going to bother trying to get them.
Very important work, great data that we get out of this, and it's volunteers. We have probably 20 volunteers that'll come through this program, this banding effort every year.
I became involved with Ducks Unlimited 10 years ago. Really enjoyed working with both the grassroots funding, the banquet committees. What I enjoy the most though is public policy portion of the job. This is the first experience that we've had, my wife and myself, hands-on, seeing where the money goes, the money that we raise through our banquets, how it's used here on conservation programs. And it's really been a great experience.
$34.6 on this one, and this is band 96.
Today has been really good. I mean, this has been awesome to have the opportunity to bring donors to such a unique area of Montana. The number of scarp here are very high, and to spend time actually in the marsh, seeing other wildlife, having the opportunity to handle birds, having the opportunity to learn from our biologists and Fish and Wildlife Service biologists. It's all been very powerful, and not only probably for the donors, but as well for me.
The subject of lead confuses a lot of people because your friend might tell you to see 2 feet or 4 feet or whatever, and everybody sees lead differently, and anybody who tries to measure lead too precisely is going to get in trouble and miss behind the target. What I tell people is think of lead in 3 ways. Some lead, more lead, and a lot of lead. No lead is like the duck that's dropping into your decoys at 15 or 20 yards. When you shoot right in the beak, that's no lead. You know, that covers a lot of duck hunting. Beyond that, there's some lead, which is what you see on maybe that same duck if it's crossing at 25 yards or whatever. More lead is twice that, and then a lot of lead is twice that. If you think of it that way, you don't start to try to measure it, break it down into feet and inches, because as soon as you do that, you'll start measuring, you'll start looking back and forth between the bird and the gun gun slows down, the gun stops, you miss behind no matter how much you thought you were leading the birds. The thing is, nobody can tell you how much some, more, and a lot of lead is. That's something that you have to figure out, but once you do, just think in terms of those 3 increments. Stop trying to measure in feet and inches. Some, more, and a lot. It'll solve a lot of your problems.
Duck Gun is presented by Mossberg Firearms. Built rugged, proudly American. DUTV is brought to you by Bush Hog, performance you can count on. Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Native nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Buck Gardner Calls, champion of champions, with closed captioning provided by Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited.
If you want to control your air properly, get your tongue in the right position to begin with, put the tip of your tongue against the back side of your bottom teeth, and even without a duck call, you can go, turn your duck call around backwards, force your air in there and you'll hear it. Turn it back around, control your air, and you'll get a good, crisp, clean quack. If you don't put enough air pressure in there, you're gonna get a flat quack. If you put too much, you're gonna get a real high-pitched quack. Proper air pressure, just work on it and find it. Because once you find it, you ain't never gonna lose it.
Duck Tactics has been presented by Buck Gardner Calls, champion of champions.
So this cattail marsh is actually a winding creek channel. It's a big cattail marsh. I mean, these ducks have a lot of options. With all these openings in this cattail marsh, why are they going to land in your one spot? And that comes through basically scouting, proper decoys, hiding, and calling.
The habitat we were hunting this morning, we've got a lot of rivers in here, a lot of small creeks, but mostly that prairie pothole. And Montana still has about 60% of its grasslands left here in the eastern part of the state. So having that intact means better nest success, better brood survival with the wetlands, and obviously a better fall flight that we saw this morning.
Take him, Bob, take him. Beautiful. Right there, buddy. Put him there. That's what we want. That is awesome.
Another great thing about the hunt was being able to sit next to Bob. We spend most of our time across the state working with different landowners, working on different programs. So to be able to take a chance, hunt opening day in the prairies that we're both working so hard to protect was really special to me.
Left side. Drake on the left, right here. Right here, right here.
Nice.
That's awesome. That is cool. We're very fortunate that Bridget brought her dog Mojo. This cattail marsh, you cannot wait. Some of these shots that we were going to be offered, you know, there's a good chance we're going to drop ducks into the cattails where we won't be able to see them, and a dog is almost a must.
I was able to take my Hungarian Vizsla with me. I've trained him to duck hunt, brought everything back to hand. We didn't lose anything, and so that was a really exciting thing for me.
Well, this duck hunt's been one of the most incredible duck hunts I've been on. It's opening day in the prairies. You can't beat it.
Nice, Lauren.
And we're done.
Oh, it's a wrap.
That's awesome.
Ducks Unlimited's success relies on cutting-edge scientific research and the work of passionate volunteers. Visit ducks.org for more information about our conservation programs, waterfowl hunting, and the people who make a difference. See See you next time on DUTV.